5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey! Hey, this is Alex Bennett, and we had some time off for a couple of days here, and I don't even know how to run this anymore. Yes, I do. In fact, we are going to talk to an old friend right now. Ladies and gentlemen, San Francisco, California is home to one of the most upbeat, positive human beings I know. That means I don't know very many positive human beings. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Larry Bubbles Brown. Hello, Larry.
Hey, Alex. How you doing?
How you doing? Do you have a nice 4th of July?
Yes. Brings out the patriotism in me. During World War II, my father served on a small island overlooking the Pacific, Alcatraz. That's not my joke, but I don't know whose it is, but I love that joke.
Yeah, well, if you don't know who it belongs to, I guess you can steal it, huh?
I guess so.
What are the rules on stealing jokes? I mean, I used to have a theory that I would, every time I use somebody else's line on the air, I would give them credit.
Right.
Up to a point. I think there was like a 2-year period where I would do that, and then I went, it's mine. It's mine. In most cases, it's mine. It's not Feldman's anymore. So,
right.
It's not Bubbles anymore.
I think the history of entertainment, I think a lot of things have been stolen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I've heard that, you probably know this more than I, that Charlie Chaplin supposedly took a lot of his stuff from some English music hall.
What was his name? I'm trying to remember his name now. But, yes, he was a very famous British comedian, and I'm trying to remember his name now. And, in fact, Chaplin invited him to the United States, and they met with each other. But, yeah, I'm trying to remember the guy's name. How dare me that I can't remember his name. Oh, well. But, no, it is said that he stole a lot of what he did from that British comic who, Chaplin grew up in Britain, so it was obvious that he could have stolen from him very easily. God, I can't remember. He was a very gentleman. As opposed to the little tramp, he was the opposite. He was kind of the gentleman. Had a cane, I believe, and, wore tails, I think. And I'm trying.
But he was okay with Chaplin taking the stuff?
If I had my friend Shecky here, he'd tell me immediately who the guy was. And I seem.
Yeah.
So, let me see here. Wait a minute. Charlie Chaplin. Let me. You see, you can go to the internet. Here I go. Charlie Chaplin influences. Let's see if that will do it. Influences. Okay. Charlie Chaplin influences. Let's see here. Overview of Charlie's life. Actors who talk about Charlie Chaplin, what teaches them. Echoes from the cinema Chaplin history. Okay, Charlie Chaplin. Who did he steal from? He steal from. Let's see here. Who did he steal from? Who stole Charlie Chaplin's body? Do you remember that story?
I do, yeah. I was in Switzerland.
All I'm getting is holding him for ransom. Charlie Chaplin's coffin. That's all I get.
Yeah, held his remains for ransom.
Charlie Chaplin. Who did he steal from? British comic. Okay, British comic influence. Okay, let's see if it comes up. No. Huh. Amazing. I can't find him. but I know who
We'll
you're
have to
talking.
get hold of Shecky.
I know who you're talking about, it was he was very famous, and he was very famous in England. He wasn't famous here, and he was a silent star, and they say that Chaplin stole a lot of what he did from him. So anyway, well, people.
But we don't know if he was angry about it.
What about what I call unknowledgeable stealing? In other words, people who hear something, they like it, they put it out of their mind, and then years later it becomes something they do, and they think they invented it. Good example, George Harrison's My Sweet Lord was really, what was the song by the, oh, God, now, my mind is, I shouldn't do this anymore. I can't remember these things. My Sweet Lord was He's So Fine. He's so fine,
yeah.
I want to make him mine.
Was that the Shirelles?
Not the Shirelles, it was the Chantels or the somebody with a C, some group with a C. But anyway, He's So Fine, and by the way, they won the suit. And then there's a song that Rod Stewart did, If You Think I'm Sexy and You Want My Body. It was stolen from a song by Jorge Ben in Brazil, which I have played many times, and it is that same exact song. Okay? And he sued, and he won.
Oh, he did? Wow.
Yeah. He turned over the money, I think, to charity, if I remember correctly. But the question is, did Rod Stewart steal it, or did he hear it and it implanted itself in his brain, and then when he was coming up with a melody for a song, that's what came up, you know?
Yeah, I think it could be subconscious. You might not know you're stealing it, sure.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever subconsciously stolen a joke?
Yeah, not... I forget what the joke was, but I remember... Oh, yeah, that somebody else had done that.
Of course,
a couple times, yeah.
Of course, you know, when you come up with a line like one of my favorite lines of yours was that you're not afraid of identity theft, then somebody else can have no life.
Yeah,
which is a very funny line. But
well, thanks. And it's the trouble with one-liners; they're very easy to steal. So.
Well, forget about it stealing it. You know, that's not an inobvious joke. I'm not, questioning your comedic abilities. You came up with a great joke. But you would seem that somebody else would maybe think of it too.
Yeah.
You know? And then there's some lines that are so unique that, if somebody uses it, they stole it. So,
Right. And sometimes you don't see sometimes some jokes are so obvious you don't see them. I heard Jay London had what was his joke? Our family had an Olympic pool. We went swimming once every 4 years.
What comedian was that?
The other one was, I have a stepladder. I never knew my real ladder.
Whose line was that?
Jay London. He's an L.A. comic.
Oh, that's very funny.
Yeah.
He never had a stepladder. I never knew his father.
I never knew my real ladder. See, the great jokes are the ones that are so obvious you don't see them, and then the other ones would be the ones that are so not obvious. They're
also you say, why the fuck didn't I think of that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So I years ago, I came up with an idea for a show. I mean, this is when I was doing cable here in New York. I was watching one night, and there was this guy. His name was Richard Rothman, and he used to do. He was a PR guy, and you're not supposed to make money off public access, but he figured out a way to make money off public access because people would hire him to do PR, and then he put them on his little cable show. All right, so that's kind of like they're paying him to be their PR guy, but he also has them on his cable show. So he's not really taking money for them being on the cable show. He's taking money for being a PR guy, all right? So we would have this endless parade of talentless human beings come on and either be interviewed or sometimes even perform. And some of them were so terrible, I found this show absolutely riveting. And I said to myself, there's a show in this in which we could run a show where we have nothing but people who come on, and some of the talent is good and some of the talent is bad, but we take on all comers. And then we maybe have a panel of people who sit there and criticize them or whatever. And that just wandered around in my brain for like a year or two, and then all of a sudden, here comes the Gong Show.
Yeah, there you go.
And I went, well, I missed that one,
Yeah. See, that would have worked.
Yeah. I mean, essentially what the Gong Show was what I had come up with. Although I have to credit Richard Rothman for being so bad that he actually came up with it first but didn't realize it. And there's nothing more fun than bad talent. I mean, I think what everybody loves about things like America's Got Talent and so on is not the great people. I mean, you go, wow, they were really a great singer and whatever. But also the acts that are bad.
Yeah,
American Idol.
God, I could do that.
American Idol thrived on that. Their auditions. They loved the auditions because once the auditions were over, the show lost a lot of its fun. Because you had these people. The worst thing about singers or people who want to be singers is in their mind they have this great voice. But it doesn't come out.
They're so deluded that's the funny part. They don't realize how horrible they are.
They think, no, in their brain, they actually hear themselves being good. And
when they get criticized, they're shocked.
Well, you go on those shows, you don't just get criticized, you get mortalized, you get brutalized. Why anybody would go on one of those shows, I have no idea. But, like, for instance, I was watching, we love America's Got Talent. We really better love Britain's Got Talent, which we don't get over here, but I managed to lay my hands on it. And Britain's Got Talent is exactly the same show. It's Simon Cowell and so on, but it runs faster. It runs over a 7-week period, and that's it, in and out, nobody gets hurt. Here in America, it goes on forever, but we happen to like the show. Because it has a rather sweet nature to it. And yet, they give away, if the winner gets $1 million. That's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good prize. And then you look at the writing underneath, and it says, the $1 million will be paid off as an annuity over 40 years.
Oh, really?
Or you can take the immediate annuity and not wait the 40 years, which means you probably take $50,000 and go home,
Yeah.
But at 40 years, I mean, what are you that poor? You just can't shell out the $1 million to these people?
So that'd be $50,000 a year for 40 years.
$50,000 a year for 40 years. So probably it says if you take a one-time annuity payment, that would be probably $50,000, right?
I don't know. The lottery, if you take the lump sum all at once, it's a little less than half. So,
well, no. If you take in the lottery, what you're doing is you can take a lump sum payment. In other words, the taxes are already paid on it once you take that lump sum, I believe. And so you're taking it minus all the taxes and everything like that, if I remember correctly. But
okay,
it's. I think the way to do it is to take that lesser amount, and just take it all at once and be done with it. At my age, I would take it all.
We don't have 40 years.
If I won it at 20 years old and it was going to be paid out over the next 50 years or something like that, great. Okay, I'll do it that way. It's cheaper in taxes and everything else. But anyway, so back to stealing. So, stealing is sometimes very conscious and sometimes very subconscious. Now, the one that we always knew as the great comic thief. You didn't even want him to show up at one of your shows and hear him laugh because you knew he would take the joke. Was Robin Williams. I mean,
well, I think Robin, his mind was like it would just pick up stuff. I don't think he consciously stole.
You think it was a sponge thing?
Yeah, I really do. His mind was and then it spit it out like a blender.
Because I can't remember who it was told me he was riding in a car one night with Robin, and they were riffing as comics do, right? And he riffed a joke, and then they riffed some more, and then they talked, and they drove a little more, and then all of a sudden, Robin turned around and riffed back the line this other guy had told him. And he said he didn't know why that was, but there was this kind of sponge quality that he had, in which he would hear things and then immediately repeat it. And once it came out of his mouth, he believed it to be his.
Exactly, and I think if a comic ever said to Robin, "Hey, that was my joke," he would give you money. He would not do it again.
Yeah, but I remember sitting one night at Cobb's Comedy Club when it was down in the marina, and we were in the back room, and Robin Williams was on The Tonight Show. Oh, all the comedians were sitting around watching it because, of course, they wanted to see Robin work. And they're sitting there, and as he's doing his act, or as he's doing the jokes or whatever in the panel sit-down thing, one comedian after another is going, "That's my joke. That's my joke. That's my joke. That's mine. Hey, just did mine." You know, that Robin, we never could figure out why he did that. And yet, comedians loved him, you know. He was a decent enough person. But, I mean, on several occasions, I called him on it. He had no great love for me because I would call him on it, because my feeling is that if you've got a guy like Robin Williams and he steals your joke, I'm sorry, it's his forever. He's on The Tonight Show. He's all around, you know. He's the guy who's going to do it and take it from you. And then when you do it on stage because you refuse to give it up, people will say, "Oh, you stole that from Robin Williams."
You stole that.
Yeah. So that I told him, I said, when people do that, when you do that, people suffer. Because it took them a lot more work to come up with that joke than it took you to do your material. You know, you can hire writers. They can't. And it always bothered me. It always bothered me. There was a I'm trying to remember the name of the comic now, but this was down at the Comedy Store, and one night he came up to Robin, pushed him up against the wall, and said, "Don't ever steal another fucking joke from me ever again." And his wife, Robin's wife, was off to the side with a checkbook out saying, "How much do you want?" And she's like writing out a check. He says, "I don't want your fucking money. I want my material." You know? Wow. And I think that's reasonable, you know? That you don't steal because somebody else worked hard to come up with that joke. It's kind of like, you know, I don't know why people feel they can just play music and that any music that's out there is theirs, and why they can download it, you know, for free off of some kind of website that gives you free music. Because the writer, especially most writers, have one hit in them. And they make money off that hit for the rest of their life, unless you steal it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
So everything has been, let's see, screenplays have been stolen. Everything in this business gets stolen, so it's nothing new.
Well, you know, everything is.
And it's hard to prove, like a screenplay.
Well, my question to you is there anything original anymore?
Probably not. Like every joke's been done 1,000 years ago. It's just updated, but they've all been done. Exactly. I mean, you know, if I watch a movie, I can point to stuff where other movies had that in it. I mean, how original can you get after you've had how many years of people doing stuff? I mean, since Shakespeare.
You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
You're bound. There are bound to be lifts from this and that and things that influence you. For instance, let's take you. I consider you one of the most original comics around.
Really? Wow.
There are very few people I think that I can compare you to. You are Larry Bubbles Brown, and that's it. But come on, there are people that that influenced you, right? And that a bit of them is in the persona you use on stage. Am I right?
I would think so.
Can you name any?
Let's see. I kind of liked it when I was a kid. I like Dangerfield. This guy just talking about how the world shit on you all the time, because it does. That always appealed to me.
Yeah.
And I liked. He didn't influence me at all, but I love Jonathan Winters. I don't know. There's nothing I haven't.
How about just in sound and style?
Jackie Vernon.
Yeah. Okay. I can see it. Okay. People don't know who we're talking about when we say Jackie Vernon, but if you live back 50 years ago, he was on TV every other day. You know.
I'd see comics on the Tonight Show all the time, and
yeah, but he was terrific. I'm trying to think. Like, for instance, I know the people that influenced me and into my style. Jack Parr was somebody that I strongly admired because of
I can definitely see that. Yeah,
how he wore
his
heart on his sleeve. Yeah.
He was very open. He was not a phony personality. You saw the real him on TV.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And in San Francisco, there was a disc jockey by the name of Don Sherwood. You know, and
don't know, but I've heard of him. He was huge in radio.
Huge in radio in San Francisco. And there's a little bit of timing that I got over the years from watching Letterman. But I think that you know what you do is then you lift from this person and you lift from that person and you lift from the other person, and what comes out is Larry Bubbles Brown.
Yeah.
What comes out is Alex Bennett, and everybody goes, "Oh, Alex, you're so original," and whatever. No, all these other people are in me. They all came into play into what is Alex Bennett. But the reason you don't recognize it is because I made him into a pate, as it were, you know.
Someone told me about you that they thought you were influenced by Jack Benny.
Very much. At least so far as timing is concerned. And
yeah, that was it. The timing.
In one other aspect, and I often point this out to people. I love pointing this out. That Benny wasn't a comedian. Benny was a clown. And the difference between a clown and a comedian is a comedian pulls jokes on people. A clown has jokes pulled on him. And Benny was always the butt of his jokes.
He's the victim.
He was always the butt of the joke. And so that makes a lot of sense, right? And that influenced me. And so I always allowed myself to be the butt of the jokes. I set up a character that everybody could malign, say things about, kid about, give a bad time to. And in that, I also learned that it wasn't whether I got the laugh or not, but whether there was a laugh at all. You know, and no matter who got it, that's all that mattered. You know, so that's my influences. Yeah, but Jack Benny, very definitely.
Benny was great, and that was before that there was rampant ageism in TV.
Well, you know what he was? Well, you know what he kind of invented, I think, was the broadcast comic. And I considered myself, people say, well, are you a comic? And I went, I'm a broadcast comic. You know, my stage is the radio. You know, and if I'm funny, it's because I'm just happen to be funny and I'm being a broadcast comic. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know. So, when are you going on the Letterman show next?
You know, well, since I did it every 21 years, I would have been coming up in 2027.
You'd be coming up in 2027. I see. Well, he's got himself a little show on Netflix. Maybe you could get him to book you on that.
Yeah, or I'd like to get on Comedians with Cars with Seinfeld too.
Yeah, but
Well,
you're not big enough.
yeah, you got to. Well, he's had some people I don't know, are not exactly huge on there,
But they all have kind of names, you know.
Yeah.
Larry Bubbles Brown is a name to me, and name to a lot of people who enjoy your work, you know. But unfortunately, let's see here. Who'd be a good example?
I know Dana Carvey did it.
Well, but Dana's established, you know.
Dana's huge.
Yeah, and to this day has a huge following. Huge, you know it because you opened for him.
Yeah.
By that we don't mean he has sex with him.
Yeah, and he's. You feel old, you know, when Dana's kids are doing comedy now. That's
wow. You feel old when your kids are doing comedy and you don't have any. So anyway, hey, listen, we've run out of time.
It just flew by. I knew that you would know that about Chaplin, even though you couldn't remember the guy's name.
I'm trying to. I'll remember his name after we're through here talking. I'm sure. Anyway, hey, listen, thank you, Bubs. Let's do it next week, okay?
We will. Thanks, Alex.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderfulness that is Larry Bubbles Brown.
5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
There we go. There's Larry Bubbles Brown. God, I love Larry. I love Larry. I could have him on every day, and I would just be really happy with that. Anyway, hello, how are you? Let me turn on the phone line, see if anybody wants to call tonight. We use our Skype lines, by the way. It's GabNet Live if you want to call via Skype, okay? I don't know. My voice feels a bit on the rough side tonight, but I think it's okay. I don't know. I've been having all kinds of problems. And then tomorrow I got to go to my urologist and have him give me the latest scores on the PSA tests. And, you know, I'm falling apart. It's time for me to, like, go into full, utter retirement. Whatever. Anyway, I'm trying to... so, anyway, somebody call me. We're ready to take calls. It's been 5 days. It's been since last Wednesday, since we last did a program. Okay, so give me a call. Here we go. Oh, look who's here! It's Vernon Nunn is the first guy up tonight. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on a second. I got all these people calling me up, and I gotta give them a place on my a panel here. Hold on. First, we go to let's see, Vernon Nunn. Okay, and then we go here to Bree. He looks like he's in the dark out there, and there we go. Okay. All right, is that okay? All right, we got them, ladies and gentlemen. There they are. They're the two of them already. Hi, Bree. Hi, Vernon. How are? Oh, wait a minute. Here comes Scott Boddicker. Wow.
Must be a Phil Free night.
I don't think it's not supposed to be, but you know, I mean, it could very well turn out to be. At the rate we're going, he's not getting his normal slot. Let's see here. No, wait a minute. We still have to. Wait a minute, we didn't get, for some reason, Scott didn't come on. Well, hold on a second. Here comes Jeff Stein. All right, let me see here. And here comes Tony Magno. Wow, everybody's calling all at once. Everybody, hold on a second.
Hello.
I can't do this fast enough. Here comes Stein. There we go. Then we go, and then we go to Phil Meyer. Now I got to go to this, which is... 4, which we will give to, let me see here, to, oh, wait a minute, who we got there? Okay, wait a minute, hold on a second. There, we'll give that to Phil. Okay, all right, okay, wait a minute. There we go, Phil. And then let's see here in the 5 slot. Is there somebody I haven't put up yet?
Everybody's calling all at once. Everybody, hold on a second.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me see here. Bree, we got him. We got him. We got him. Oh, Tony. Tony. There we got to go with Tony. Okay. There we go. And here comes Scott Boddicker again. Let's see if Scott is there. Yes, Scott is there. So I got to put him in the 6th spot here. Hold on a second. This will take me a moment. Scott Boddicker. Okay. All right. There we go. Wait a minute. And I got to do that. And we do a transition. There we go. Wow. Jeez. You guys got me. You got me really working here, guys. Jeez almighty.
Somebody's got to do work. I love it,
Huh?
What happened to Jeff?
I'm domesticated.
What do you mean? What happened to Jeff?
He left.
Jeff's there.
Oh,
Yeah, Jeff's there. I don't know. He isn't. His picture isn't up there, but he is on screen. However, so wait a minute. I think he froze up. Yeah.
On the Skype feed, it said Jeff left.
Yeah. Okay. So we go. Let me see if I can go to Jeff here. Add him. Here we go. Jeff. Add him. Let's see. I'm calling Jeff Stein now, and we'll see if that picks up on him. Anyway, calling Jeff Stein. Calling Jeff Stein. Answer the phone, Jeff. Do it. Oh
No.
Who's that?
What?
Who's the guy that you've got there with you?
That's my brother-in-law, Mike.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Good.
Yeah. Is he?
I'm in Iowa, Alex.
I like him.
Are you showing him how this works?
I'm showing how amazing you are as an octogenarian.
Not yet.
To run all this stuff. He's amazed by it. My brother-in-law Mike, he's a custom knife maker. He's old school. He makes all kinds of crazy stuff.
Is he an octogenarian?
Almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
It says that Jeff is unavailable. I don't know what happened to Jeff. Now we have a really strange thing. Let's see here. That's wait a minute. I've got.
I've been in Iowa was giving me a hard time, so I had to call back.
Oh, I see. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on a second.
There's Jeff.
Wait a minute. But no, the Jeff is frozen.
Oh yeah.
So, Mike, I'm familiar with knives like Paul and other custom knives. What type of knives do you make?
I make folding knives, custom folding knives. I was in the Knife Makers Guild in 1982, so I've been making knives for quite a few years.
Yeah. Nothing like the TV show where they make the swords and stuff like that.
Not at all.
A Damascus steel? Is that how you do it?
I use Damascus steel, but I don't make it. You can stop.
Yeah.
You probably know a friend of mine, Mike, Gill Hibbett. Oh, yes. I know Gill. Yes. Yeah, he's a ham radio operator also, and lives here not too far from me.
Ham radio's been in the news lately about whether it's a hobby or it's a necessary thing.
Well, if you lose, in some of these areas that are in the middle of nowhere, they have emergencies and they set up ham radio nets so that they can relay information. You don't always have cell towers and the internet. So if you have a major emergency, ham radio operators are relay all sorts of information that you couldn't without their net.
Radio used to be there for emergency situations, but most of it's all automated now, so that even when there's an issue, they can't do anything about it.
Yeah, but if you're up in the Andes and you've had an earthquake and nobody has anything, that's the only way you can communicate.
Yeah, so we'll see where that goes. I think, if it comes across the FCC's desk now, I think they're going to rule in favor of, commercialism, big business.
I don't know where you come up with that one.
every single.
That has
ruling.
happened at times, Bree, but it doesn't happen all the time. And I'll give you a good example. When UPS was just getting started with tracking packages, they petitioned the FCC for 220 megahertz, and they were going to use that band for digital communications between their trucks and their home offices. But the technology sucked. It didn't work out, and they ended up going through cellular connections instead. And that's what they use today.
Okay. So, I mean, who wants the spectrum? Does anybody know?
Well, one of the reasons that the FCC pushed for digital television was because a lot of police, fire, emergency medical services needed spectrum that the VHF, particularly TV channels, took up a huge amount of spectrum.
But weren't the police using 800 trunking?
Yeah, but you could put trunking on any frequency band.
Vernon, I used to have a C-band dish. I still have it on my roof. That was analog. They used to have tons of free feeds before, like, say the NFL went to like a package. I used to get all the games.
Who's making all that noise?
And everything.
Who's making all that? Is that you, Bree, that's making all that rattling noise?
That might have been.
Yeah.
Somebody was talking about.
Yeah. Don't do that. It's kind of hard to hear everybody else. Yeah. What were you saying, Tony?
I used to have the big dish, the analog dish, and he's right, Vernon. All the ABC, all the big affiliates. ABC was analog. NBC was the only one who went on KU band. I remember I had to get a different feed horn. They just plopped it on, really. But everything was up there for free, like the feeds and everything. Like it was really cool for live news and sports because everything was in the clear pretty much. You just knew where to go to the transponder, and you could really search for anything. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Then they took it down and went digital. I don't know what's up there now, but and with digital you get more compressed. You're able to get more channels per satellite. Like, I know with the analog I had 24 channels per satellite, like T1, Telstar 1. There was 24 channels, but with digital they were able to put like hundreds easy because it was compressed, I guess.
Well, it's multiplex is what it is. They just like cellular communications is all multiplexed, so that it's time lapsed, interspersing signals.
The only bad with digital, Vernon, is if you get heavy rain, you would fade out on an analog. I never lost the picture that much in heavy rain. If you got a heavy rain with digital, you would lose the picture totally. Analog
or to pixelate. Yeah.
Totally wipe out. Yeah.
You get that on digital TV now. If you got local channels, you can get pixelation if the signal gets weak. Yeah. Alex is just kind of laying back and letting us yak now.
Yeah. Why not? I'm just taking it easy.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah. Anyway, Bree, why can't we see you? Why are you so dark? Maybe he's not even there right now.
He's on mute.
I think he's there.
Oh.
Yeah, he's on mute.
Oh, I see. Yeah, why don't we get more light on you? His hand.
Just waved. Hey.
Oh, boy.
He lives in Dubai.
Anyway, so. What?
Alex, I have this stupid fly that's been really bugging me, and I got him trapped in the closet. So I think I got him.
No, you got him trapped in a closet.
Well, once he went in the closet, I knew I could zero in on him.
Yeah, but you have to then go in the closet to kill him.
Yeah, now I'm out of the. I went in the closet. Now I'm out of the closet.
I've got one of those lights that it's like a bug zapper, and you hang it up, and the flies go into it, and then you hear it go, bzzz, and you know it got one.
I'm good old fashioned here, just going with the fly swatter.
Yeah.
So Alex, you got a neighbor that has got some problems, huh?
What are you talking about?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh man,
It's not me.
I didn't think so.
It's not me.
This guy, $77 million apartment?
How much?
Not anymore.
$7 million. Well, they want to take it.
Yeah.
Well, he's a billionaire, but he's fucking crazy.
So what?
Well, he may be a Trump. He may be a Trump billionaire. Maybe he just is.
Well,
he thinks. he is.
I happen to think he's probably a pretty nice guy.
Epstein?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would.
No, the reason I feel that is because my president feels that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Very nice.
It's good.
It must be right.
He was quoted
so
as
did- so did
saying,
Clinton.
he was quoted as saying, terrific guy. He's a lot of, what are you doing? Well, he's a lot of fun to be with. It's even said he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side.
Yeah.
That's incriminating.
That's a
man.
quote from Donald Trump.
Do you think
Yeah.
Clinton's going to get wrapped up in this?
Clinton?
You know, that
How is
once.
Clinton?
I think the reason that Epstein got a sweetheart deal is because there's a whole bunch of politicians that used to party with him that may go down.
Clinton didn't
the
party.
same pipe.
Clinton didn't party with him.
You think
Clinton says he didn't party with him, but he also says he didn't have sex with that
No.
with that girl.
Hold on a second.
Trump.
Clinton did not party with him. Clinton accepted his donation to the
Invitations to
Clinton
ride.
Foundation by using his jet to take him to various countries. And that is not involving yourself in the guy's life.
Oh yeah.
On the other hand, Epstein used to stay at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah. And I
Got
heard he
kicked
got
out?
kicked out. Yeah.
Can you imagine this crew he's got? What do they say, Alex? Show me your friends. And what was that saying again? Show me your friends.
Why am I feeling so weak tonight? I'm so out of it. But anyway, because I haven't done this for a couple of days.
You got pollen.
I don't know. I really don't know. There's something weirdly wrong with me, but I can't figure it out. You know.
Maybe allergies. My allergies are bothering me tonight.
Well, I don't know. It's supposedly the pollen count isn't high, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to be affected by allergies. Okay.
The grass bothers me bad.
Anyway, because some days I'm fine,
For me,
other
it was
days
dust, Alex.
well, some days I'm fine, and other days I'm not fine. So I can't figure it out. But anyway, I think there's a problem I've got with this whole Epstein thing, and it's something that always bothers me when these things come up. And Phil was engaging in it a few moments ago, and I'm sure a few of you mentally are. And that is, you're automatically assigning guilt to the man in this
No, I am
particular
not.
situation.
He
Let me
pleaded
finish.
guilty in Florida.
Guilty to
Guilty.
another situation. To another situation. And these things, oddly enough, may not fly because the plea deal and the deal he made in Florida may apply to these incidents.
Yeah.
Okay? But what I'm saying is that this whole idea that the man is automatically guilty of the totality. I mean, he already said, I'm not guilty. I think that if he did what he's accused of, the man is a horrible creep. But I'm not going to indict him until I hear the case in court or until the thing goes to court.
Well, they said
Yeah,
there
I
was
agree
a
with you.
statute of limitation deal.
No.
In
Phil,
2007, they changed that.
Phil, you have no idea what went on then. You're completely wrong on it. It was a plea agreement so they could avoid federal charges. And
Right.
He made a plea, and he spent some time in prison, and he got out every
13
day.
months.
Yeah, 13 months, and he was registered as a sex offender, and all of that. All of that applied to these cases down in Florida, but the cases that they're now, according to his lawyers, that they're trying to apply to him were cases that were covered by that plea deal.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's just,
So it ain't
guilty
over.
by media.
It ain't over till it's over. And when I tune in MSNBC and other people like that, who are just calling this guy automatically guilty, All right.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to defend him. I don't like the guy. Is obviously if he did what he was accused of doing, even in Florida back in 2005,
Even in Florida,
something like that, he's a creep. He's a terrible person, and I
Now,
do not
this-
want. Wait, let me finish. I don't want to sit here defending him, but he's not guilty yet of this.
Mm-hmm.
The current Secretary of Labor was the was he the prosecutor or the state attorney general?
He was
He was a U.S.
prosecutor.
attorney for the Southern District of Florida.
Right. Now, they're accusing him of creating some sort of sweetheart deal. He's saying that, 14 other people signed off on this thing, and this was the best we could get. And but you've got a ton of people now that are calling for him to resign.
Well, we didn't hear about him back then fighting to get a tougher deal for him. He went along. He said, "I just went along with the other 14 people."
Well, I think they said that was the best they can do. That these cases are hard to prove.
What do you mean they're hard to prove? If he were willing to settle for 13 months incarceration, in spite of the fact that it was very liberal incarceration, then they had a case against him. They could have just gone the full Monty on it.
So Schumer and the likes of him that are calling for the resignation of the labor secretary. I forgot his name, Abbott or something.
Acosta.
Acosta.
Alex Acosta.
So they're calling for his resignation, and is this the same thing like you're saying they're coming to they want to hang him before they try him?
There's no trial here.
I
what
know
they're
they want him to
saying, what they're
resign.
saying
There's no
Acosta
trial.
did, what they're saying Acosta did was he broke the law by not letting the victims know about the sweetheart deal, and that was illegal.
Could that possibly wash out? No, I guess he already served. That would be double jeopardy.
No, that was on state charges. He served 13 months on state charges.
You would have to go back and look at the deal that was made and how that applies to these cases. According to Jeffrey Epstein's lawyers, these cases go all the way back to then. They're not present cases. Okay.
They changed the law in 2007 when they said that there was no statute of limitations on these types of crimes.
Yes, but they had already negotiated his plea.
Yeah, they're claiming that there are new crimes.
Well, his lawyers claim these are old cases.
Well, he claims, she claims.
Well, but if he's claiming his innocence now.
So was Weinstein, but look what they do.
Weinstein hasn't been proved guilty of anything, and as a matter of fact, just the other day, Kevin Spacey looks like that charge in Connecticut or wherever is going to fall on false ears, because it turns out now that the person complaining and charging him with it won't testify because of he won't get immunity.
What's he need immunity for?
Because he lied.
Yeah, something with the phone. He said something with the messages.
Something with the phone or messages.
Oh, is that why the father took the Fifth Amendment or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it looks like Spacey is getting off. Well, okay, so everybody's sitting around making jokes about how guilty Spacey is.
Got off.
What? Yeah.
But does that mean that they're going to start showing his movies again?
No.
They show those movies.
No.
If he gets off and he's not convicted, is Spacey going to get his?
No, because there's no department where you go to get your name back.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, sure, he could be found not guilty of everything, and they still wouldn't do it. They wouldn't show his TV shows anymore or anything like that.
Yeah, because the impression's already been made. The frame is already there. So everybody's just going to think that from now on.
Yeah.
That's how, Trump gets away with a lot of things because of that. Because it doesn't matter what reality is. It's whatever they can push for one news cycle. That's how it works.
Yeah. So,
Spacey was in my favorite movie, Glenn Ross.
Remember the speeches?
Yeah.
That
Always
was
be
the-
closing.
Yeah, always be
Put
closing.
the coffee down.
That
Coffees
was-
for closers.
Coffee's for closers, yes. You don't drink the coffee.
Yeah.
That was funny.
That was a
Is
great
that
movie.
the one with Sean Penn?
No. It
Who's
was
that?
with Ed
Ed Harris.
Norton?
Ed Harris, Spacey, Alec Baldwin, yeah.
What was
and
the one that he was in with Sean Penn?
I don't
Remember that one?
know. No, I don't remember that one.
I gotta look that up.
Well, I've never seen the movie.
No, it's a great movie.
Oh no, wasn't Jack Lemmon in that too?
Jack Lemmon, yeah, that's the guy that got told to put the coffee down.
That was his idol. Yeah. He always wanted to be Jack Lemmon.
Yeah. So anyway, I just think that we really, while this guy is probably, not hopefully he's guilty of the stuff. It'd be nice if he wasn't, and then no women got hurt in the process. But that doesn't look like it's a possibility. But I think that we have to wait and see how it plays itself out in the courts. And we don't sit here prejudging him. We want him to have the fairest of all possible trials. And then if he's guilty, throw him in the slammer for the rest of his fucking life. But right now, let's not pre-convict him. Because
he's guilty. Throw him to the lions.
Because to begin with, they got to have a jury for him, so.
Of his peers.
Of his peers.
Yeah, is that some more child molesters?
Yeah.
Now, see, now you're saying he's a child molester. You see
that's
what I'm
he was
saying?
Convicted
No.
of. He's a 290 registrant. He's, he has to register as a sex offender. He's, that's what he is.
Registered. He is registered as a sex offender. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but previous convictions cannot apply here. No.
If you're registered as
could
a
this
sex
be
offender, though, it has nothing to do with convictions.
Yes.
Is there still 3 strikes? Because
in baseball, yes.
No. I mean, in the court, you get 3 strikes, you go to jail for 25 years minimum. So this might be the second strike.
Or the next
3
30,
felonies.
or the
3
next
felonies.
20. We don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really stinky, all the way around. But I think everybody is rushing to judgment a little too fast to be fair in our judicial system. And if you believe in our judicial system and that it's capable, then you allow it to play itself out rather than sit here and convict him on radio and television and everything. And everybody's just assuming guy's guilty. Yes, Jeff.
What state is he being attacked in?
New York.
It's New York.
Yeah.
Well, the last problem that he had was in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, Mar-a-Lago.
So,
But they're felonies.
Yes, that those
Hurly
laws
burly.
are substantially different, and the fact that even if they're the same,
They're just saying, what they're saying is that the cases that were in play when he made his plea bargain were these exact things that were in play. And that the lawyers, they were surprised that all of a sudden the government's decided to suddenly prosecute them. I mean, some of them may be so old that there's a statute of limitations,
Well, that's what I was saying. In 2007,
Yeah, but you can't.
even though
yeah,
these
but-
crimes
yes, but you can't.
took
You
place,
can't. I don't think you can do that retroactively, Phil. I think if you were tried, and these things weren't tried at the time, that you can't retroactively say that there's no statute of limitations.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if these crimes took place after 2007. Which is what I believe the New York courts are alleging, that then there's no statute of limitations. If it happened prior to, then there is a statute of limitations.
I think
So
it
these
depends on the jurisdiction too, Phil.
Yeah, but if these crimes, I think that they're talking about new or different crimes, or they got other
It took
crimes that
place in
came
New
up.
York.
Right.
Yeah.
So those may or may not be limited by the statute of limitations if they took place before or after.
Stick around. This guy's got a lot of lawyers, got a lot of money. He has the wherewithal to fight this thing, and we're going to have to see what happens.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, maybe he'll run for president like Tom Steyer.
Yeah, well, what was it I saw that his lawyers were also Trump's lawyers as well?
Trump's probably got every lawyer.
Well, Trump is,
It's been the wrong
Trump, of
The
course.
guy's name was David Boies. Was he Epstein's lawyer, or is he the lawyer for the woman that is alleging? David Boies, I think, was also
David Boies was involved,
a lawyer during the hanging Chad thing.
Yeah.
Trump v. Gore.
Yeah, right. I remember David Boies, but I don't remember who he represented. And
well, who's he defend? Is he defending Epstein?
He's involved with this Epstein thing. I don't know if he's defending Epstein or if he's defending or representing one of the women that had come forward.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a very stinky mess, and it's a horrible thing. And I don't understand. See, here's what I don't understand. You get convicted in what? Oh, I didn't turn on my on the air sign. We haven't been on the air. Does my voice sound hoarse tonight? No.
Yeah.
Huh?
A little bit. It's a little raw.
Little raw? Okay. Well, it's probably cancer then. Anyway, I'm going to my urologist tomorrow, so that's got me too. Anyway, where were we?
You were supposed to get some sort of medical thing yesterday.
What? Yeah, I got the blood test yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
The thing
No
is,
results?
No, I'm not going to get the results till tomorrow when I see my doctor. Anyway, so all I'm saying is that we really have to sit and wait on this thing and not go rushing to judgment. And all these people are like, oh, Epstein's guilty. Oh, look, they got him. Here's the thing I don't get about Epstein. Okay, you're pretty wealthy. You're obviously no dummy, all right? You get convicted in 2005. You spend 13 months in jail on a very liberal release plan where 6 days a week he got to go to his office for 12 hours a day, and then he went back to a country club cell. It was, but nevertheless, and then he of course has to register as a sex offender. So, and it wasn't really even sex offender. It was something else. And I'm trying to remember
that's what he is.
No, he was not registered as a sex offender. It was something else. And it was a matter of language that his lawyers hammered out where it wouldn't be called sex offender. Okay? Anyway, but I'd have to go look it up, and I don't have time right now.
I'll look it up.
Anyway, the point is that you're found guilty of this, so they got you. You shouldn't be sticking your pinky in teenage taint. And you know this. You're not a dumb guy, and you keep doing this, even though you spent time in jail. What's if in fact this guy did all these things after that date? He's nuts. I mean, come on. So she's 16, and you can't wait till she becomes 18?
I think the only way you can stop these guys is through chemical castration.
Oh, Jesus.
They don't learn. You can't rehabilitate these people.
I mean, I don't understand it.
He's Jeffrey Edward Epstein, born January 20th, 1953, is an American financier and registered sex offender.
I don't think the term used was offender. I think wherever you're reading it from is wrong. It's wrong.
I
that's
did a
nothing
Google
new.
search.
It's
The
wrong.
media doesn't
Yes,
care
but
if
Oh,
it's
this is
wrong or right.
Wikipedia.
yeah, but it's wrong.
Wikipedia.
There was a nuance of terms involved in what they said he had to register as,
Yeah,
and it wasn't
about 1 million terms,
It was
maybe 2 million.
sex. It wasn't sex offender.
Isn't that, church?
Whoever wrote the Wikipedia thing.
Trafficking.
No, that's what he's being accused of now.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to have a bad day.
But see, I don't like how I'm discomforted by when the media gets in, the prosecutors that have a big chart with his name on it, U.S. versus Jeff Epstein or whatever, and all these details. It's like, why do you have to? It's like show business, It's like if you've got a case and you can move forward, go ahead.
Yeah.
You don't need to go on CNN with your charts and graphs and plot things out. I just think that's wrong.
Well, in other countries, they don't do it exactly that way. For instance, in England, if he were accused in England, the prosecutors would say, today we arrested Jeffrey Epstein and we are charging him with blah, blah, blah. And at that point, the prosecution shuts up. They don't go on television. They don't have any more to say about it. And that is the law in England. You can't try a case in the press. Yeah. And we used to have that law. I mean, when I first worked in New York City, I had to sit down with our lawyers who told me what I could do and what I couldn't do. And one of the things was, they said, you are not permitted by the city of New York to try a case in the press. Okay? And so you have to avoid doing anything that would try a case in the press. And so I thought that was fine. That to me made a lot of sense. And so in those days, we were very good about that. We didn't try these things in the press, but we do now. And that's wrong. It's absolutely wrong. You had your hand up.
Is Vox a right or left-wing source?
I have
VOX?
No idea. I never heard of it.
All right. How about New York Magazine?
New York Magazine, yeah, sure.
Okay. Convicted sex offender Jeremy Epstein was arrested
but you see, all I'm saying is that may be the assumed term. I heard this on the news today from a lawyer who said that legally down there, in fact, Epstein was saying that he wasn't a registered sex offender. He was registered as a sex something.
Miami Herald. It seems as though Jeffrey Epstein avoided a lifetime sentence for underage human something to register as a sex offender and pay restitution.
But that's a
so he did register as a sex offender.
No, that he didn't. But he didn't, Phil. That's what I'm saying. That's what this lawyer was saying. That it was a nuanced term that they used in the court. But then the newspapers turned that into registered sex offender because that's a term they're used to using.
How about the state of Florida?
I don't give a shit, Phil. I'm telling you, this is what I heard today. I don't give a shit.
You heard wrong.
I don't give a shit about Fox or New York Magazine. They may have it all wrong that it was not as a sex offender. It's some other term. What is it?
All right.
Megan,
you stick to it.
Well, it's used
Is it pedophile?
a lot. It's used a lot on a lot of websites. They say registered sex offender.
Yeah, but what I heard today was that was not the term that was used in the bargain.
Where'd you hear that? Offenders.r.
No, in fact, I think I may have even seen it on Fox. There was some lawyer they had on who was talking about the case and saying that Epstein used to like to say to people, no, I'm not a registered sex offender. I'm a registered something or another. But it wasn't sex offender.
It's Alex, according to Snopes.com, he was required to register as a sex offender.
Really? Okay.
I trust Snopes.
Yeah.
They usually got it right.
Well, more than I trust Phil.
Well, I don't trust Snopes.
Yeah, because it usually proves you wrong. But I don't know.
Left-wing commie.
I just heard that the term wasn't sex offender. At least he felt comfortable with the term as it was created in this case. But we have to go back to that plea deal to look at it carefully. And somebody says he has to register as a sex whatever, and then somebody immediately says sex offender. That's what normally you say,
Well, I used to register people as sex offenders in the city of Richmond, and they had to fill out certain forms. They had to declare where they were living. They had to get their picture taken, and I would update the registry.
Do we believe in this registering of sex offenders?
Well, it's called Megan's Law.
No, well, wait.
C290.
Yeah, I'm saying fuck Megan's Law. Is it right?
Yeah. Don't you want to know if you're living next door to a sex offender and you got kids and?
Not particularly. Not particularly.
Jeffrey Epstein was once given 3 12-year-old girls from France as a birthday gift. The documents allege.
Well, happy birthday.
Did he share them with Clinton?
I don't even know why anybody would want sex with a 12-year-old. That one I don't understand. I mean, I wouldn't have understood that if I was 12 myself, I mean, I just don't understand it. I mean,
Liz Nambla, that's for man-boy love,
it's probably some chemical imbalance.
No, but I don't understand why anybody would want a 12-year-old.
That's because you're normal.
Well, no, it's just, come on. I mean, it's not that you suddenly know how to have sex when you're 18, but at least you're a little more mature. But, I mean, it just
You're old enough to make a choice.
It never made sense to me that somebody would want that.
It's just sick.
Now, how old do you have to be to get married in not Bahrain? Where are you living? UAE. Do they allow child brides there in
Dubai?
Bahrain?
Dubai.
Dubai.
I don't know the law. Like that.
I don't think there's that. I think you're thinking of Saudi Arabia.
It may be.
Kentucky.
Well,
there's one episode we were watching. We're watching the West Wings, and there was a West Wing where the president has this guy from Saudi Arabia in his office, and this woman who's with him, and he says, "And I'm so happy to have you here, and especially your daughter as well." He says, "It's not my daughter; it's my wife."
Ooh.
Yeah.
But I mean, I just don't. I don't understand it. And I don't understand how you get caught, and now you get caught again. I mean, why do you continue with the same behavior? Yes, I know there's a certain obsessiveness, but there's also if you spent 13 months kind of not having your liberty, and you were found guilty, and you were registered as a sex offender, don't you say to yourself, I can just bring things up a notch and get them to be 18, and I won't get in trouble?
Don't you think some people feel they're entitled or above the law, and that they can, they can get away with things that other people can't? Maybe because of his money?
Well, you've been quiet, Scott. What do you think about all of this?
And this is from a Trump supporter?
Well, yeah, I mean, Trump goes for those younger ones. Look at Melania. And, but, at least he's going for legal age.
Wow.
He's got great taste.
And he loves his daughter.
Yeah. He's got good taste there, too.
Yeah. In a way, I think Melania is kind of cheesy, if you want my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think she's cheesy. I don't think she's sexy at all. Huh?
It's just because she's got an accent.
What'd you say?
Did you see the photos in the mall? I didn't see any of the mall photos when she was supposed to be in a wet T-shirt. I heard him talking about it, but I never saw the photos.
No. Why? A fake T-shirt, a wet T-shirt
with fake boobs?
Covering her fake boobs? I mean, you're not seeing anything. You're just seeing plastic.
No, we normally pay for that.
But on a first lady, come on.
Look,
hey, she got the position. You know, she was married to the right guy.
Well, it's like my father said. There was a quote when Eisenhower, when Eisenhower was running for his or running for president, there were some signs that read "Put Mamie in the White House," and my father's attitude was, "I ain't voting for fucking Mamie." You know, I'm voting for president of the United States, and she's not running. You know. What is that noise?
Oh, that might have been Vernon.
Just remember, people, when you're going to do stuff like that,
Sorry.
Mute.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay, Vernon. You can get away with anything, Vernon. I like you. Anyway, what?
Maybe in that White House.
I like you too. Is that what you just said?
I think he said "fuck you."
Yeah.
The American League
Definitely.
has defeated the National League 4-3.
What?
Is there still an American League?
Yeah, they won the All-Star game.
How about the soccer team, huh? How about those babes?
Yeah. They get a ticket tape tomorrow.
Yeah, they're getting a big parade in New York City, and they ain't going anywhere near the White House.
Nobody wants nothing.
Actually, a lot of teams, a lot of sports people will not go to the White House right now. A lot of football teams won't go.
Why is that?
How do you feel about there was a possibility that they were going to trample the American flag when it was on the ground, and Megan Rapaport or something, it looked like she was going to step on it, and one of the other players grabbed it and held it up so that couldn't happen.
Oh, was that your interpretation?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think she had any intention of stomping on the American flag. It was down on the ground. How did it get on the ground? How did it get on the ground?
Not sure. Did she throw it down there, or did somebody drop it?
I don't know, but somebody was wise enough to pick it up, and it's ridiculous story. But they don't want to go to the White House. They said, "Fuck you." You know?
I don't think Trump wants them there.
No, he wanted them there, and they said, "We're we're going to the White House."
Well,
and then he said, "Well, I'm rescinding the invite." Oh, big deal. You know.
Well, she's not his type anyway.
There are people that constantly would give their eye teeth to go to under normal conditions to the White House. I would have. I'm real mad because Nicole Boxer got married in the White House, and I knew Nicole, and she never invited me to her fucking wedding.
Who's Nicole Boxer?
Barbara Boxer's daughter.
Oh. Okay.
And the one thing I would have always loved to have done is go to the White House. But if I were invited by Trump, I wouldn't go, and a lot of people feel the same way. You know. Because they
I'd go.
They kind
you know
of,
where I'd go?
Yeah.
What?
Steal the sheets.
You go to steal the sheets. I see. Yeah.
Hey, where's my invite?
For Mom. Mom, I got sheets. They fit.
Yeah, that's the new Nazi symbol, that cap. Anyway, so I don't know. I just I'm so happy that they won the. This is their fourth.
Second in a row, fourth overall.
Fourth in a row?
No. Second in a row.
Yeah.
Fourth overall, I believe.
4 overall. Okay.
Yes.
So we're kicking ass in the world in soccer, which never was an American sport. You know.
Making
Now,
10 sick too, and at a third the pay.
Mhm.
Jeff had his finger.
And
Yes.
and the girl who was on TV today, she has been there 3 times.
Yeah.
She only won twice.
Yeah.
Now, the female soccer team is saying that they're not getting equal pay to the men's soccer team.
Nowhere near
Correct.
it, and they're drawing bigger crowds.
But somebody said that the amount of money that the men's team draws is much greater than.
No, they
what-
said that in this World Soccer Championships, they have drawn more people than the men do.
Sorry, Phil.
It's always going to be sorry.
No, they should get the same money men do. There's no question
Why?
about it. Why not?
They should get more because they win.
Yes, our guys don't win. Yes.
Well,
yes, Jeff.
The other reason is because they have a legal agreement with the guys who run this whole thing, and they're both as a legal complaint right now.
Is that FIFA?
Mm-hmm. Very corrupt organization. Very corrupt.
Yeah, well, a couple of years ago, weren't they getting payoffs for where they were going to hold the soccer matches?
They still do.
Yeah.
They still do. They're a terrible organization, you know. It's a shame that such a important sport in our world is literally controlled by a corrupt organization. We would never.
DNC. The DNC.
Ha ha.
White House.
Yeah. But oh, by the way, this guy, who's the guy? Was the district? Who was the attorney down there? Who?
Not Abbott. What's his name? Acosta.
Acosta.
Alex Acosta.
The president today said when they asked him about Acosta, well, he's been very good at being the head of the Labor Department, and because look at our labor statistics.
What else did he say about
wait a
Acosta?
minute. But here's where he's wrong. The head of the Labor Department has nothing to do with influencing the statistics of labor. They have nothing to do with it.
What else did he say about Acosta?
Oh, he said, he's doing a great job, you know. And then when it came to, very strange, to Epstein, he said,
he's doing a heck of a job, Brownie.
I haven't talked to him in 15 years, and we had a falling out.
That was Epstein, but
yeah.
What Trump said about Acosta.
Wait a minute. Can I finish what I'm saying, Phil?
I asked you the question.
So he said that the Labor Department. Look at the statistics for labor. Has nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing to do with it. And then he said about Epstein. He said, I had a falling out with a guy about 15 years ago, and I haven't talked to him since. I'm not a fan. What does that mean? You're not a fan? What? You join
maybe he's an air conditioner.
You join the Epstein fan club? Is that what you do? I mean, I'm not a fan.
My question was about these people that are coming to the forefront and saying that Acosta should resign. Mm-hmm. And what Trump said about Acosta is he was doing a good job in his present position.
No, but he justified him doing a good job by saying, look at the labor statistics. No, look at the labor statistics, and that has nothing to do with what the Department of Labor does, because Trump doesn't even know what the Department of Labor does. And I'm not cutting you off, Phil, any more than you cut me off.
Oh, tit for tat, huh?
Yeah, you want your tat back.
Yeah, I want it back. So anyway, what he said was, we're going to do a full investigation on this, and he's not going to rush to judgment on Acosta, and I would think that you would feel the same way. But Schumer and a number of other senators, even some Republicans,
did I say I want him to resign? Did I even mention that on the show tonight?
Did
I mention on this show tonight that he should resign? Did I say it at any point on this show?
No, you didn't say that.
Then shut up, Phil, because I'm not accusing him of anything.
You're a fucking idiot sometimes.
Well, what do you mean I'm a fucking idiot?
I'm making a point that Trump also said about Acosta that before these people are asking him to resign, and before he does that, he wants an investigation to find out, and then he'll make his judgment. So, I'm just making the point that Trump did say, hey, we'll look into this, and you're taking out of context these other things about the labor statistics.
No, but what I'm saying is he was wrong to say that the Labor Department has anything to do with those labor statistics. They are there as an administrative organization, not as somebody who encourages labor, people being hired, as an example.
Well, when you have a Department of Labor and this guy's in charge of it, they negotiate a lot of things.
No, but
unions.
they don't. No, they do not. They do not. They just are in charge of administering labor.
Mm-hmm.
Labor laws.
Labor laws. Yeah.
And it's those labor laws that allow for more employment.
Phil, it has nothing to do with the labor statistics.
Okay.
Nothing. Am I right, Scott?
I have no idea what the Labor Department does.
Neither do they, obviously.
I have no idea. So why do we have one?
Yeah. Well, why do we have a presidency? I'm beginning to ask that question.
We don't, Alex. We don't.
You know, we've been watching the West Wing, and here's a president. He gets into this problem, and he has that problem, and there's some foreign problem, and there's some problem with this and that. And Marjorie looks at me and goes, "I can't imagine Donald Trump having to make any of these decisions."
Hey, Alex, my wife and I, we started watching The West Wing.
Mm-hmm.
Before you and Marjorie even did again. We watched it the first time. But what season are you on now? I don't even know where
we just
we're
finished season 3.
Season 3. That's about where we're at now. It's awesome. I love it.
I'm probably giving up. She wants to watch season 4. I'll maybe watch some of it, but that's when Sorkin started falling apart.
Oh.
And he just, by the end of that season, NBC asked him to leave.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Getting a little burnt.
Here comes Phil.
The Department of Labor fosters and promotes the welfare of job seekers, wage earners, and retirees, that's you, Alex, of the United States by improving working conditions, advancing their opportunities for profitable employment, protecting their retirement and health care benefits, and helping employees.
But what does that have?
That
has nothing to do with the labor statistics.
Well, if they find
find
more people to work, then the unemployment goes down and the labor statistics
it has
better.
nothing to do with jobs going up or jobs going down. It only administers the welfare of the people who do have jobs.
They promote,
but they don't.
They promote.
They don't create jobs, Phil. They don't create jobs.
Not according to this.
Well, it doesn't. Where does it say their job is to create jobs? Does it say anything there?
It says it fosters and promotes the welfare of job seekers, wage earners, and retirees, improving their working conditions and advancing opportunities for profitable employment. That creates jobs.
The jobs have to be there, and they have to exist in order for the job situation to go up. Okay.
There's plenty of jobs.
I'm telling you, the Labor Department has nothing to do with the job statistics.
You're splitting hairs.
No, I'm not splitting hairs, Phil. You're saying I'm splitting hairs because you want to be right, and you're not right.
I'm always right.
What are you saying, Scott? What are you pointing out to your brother?
I'm sorry. I was talking to my brother-in-law. I said, Phil. He thought he was muting. I said Phil should split a few more hairs and he would not be so bald.
I got it colored.
You colored it?
Yeah, they put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, in the hair, so it's not just white.
Can you turn around so we can see it?
It's real.
Oh, nice. It looks
good.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, so instead of being white, it's got some color to it.
By the way, Phil, is somebody in your house like using Netflix or something like that?
Why is my
you're kind of like a little shaky.
Pixelated?
Not pixelated. It just kind of freeze it a little bit in your movement.
Yeah, I've noticed that. Let me switch to this network here.
You
did it again.
Hey, Phil, when you look up something, look up what the Bureau of Labor Statistics and what department it's under.
All right, that's better.
There you go. That's much better. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the 5G, and the other one was just the regular.
Okay. All right. Well, it's a little better. Yeah. I guess.
Well, it's.
Oh, no, you're frozen again.
Yeah. Let me reboot. I'll be back.
Okay, he'll be back.
Okay.
He will
I'll be back.
call us back.
He'll be back.
Yeah. Let's. So, again, in these little fights with him, he's got to prove himself right. And so he finds this one little thing that may have been said somewhere that justifies blah, 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 and he's wrong.
Well, he's confusing the Labor Department with the Bureau of Labor Statistics. And
Yes.
They're different departments.
Exactly. Very good. Very good. You made the point better than I did. But all I'm saying is that I heard today that, he was wrong in assuming that the Labor Department was responsible for the labor statistics, which they clearly are not. So, anyway. So what else has been happening in the news? Anything?
Well, did you talk about Trump's his speech on the 4th? Because you were off. It's been a while. But
Yeah. You mean that big, huge crowd he had?
I didn't see it. They didn't show it, so I don't know.
I thought the picture of him in front of a glass shield that was spattered with rain said it all.
Was that rain or was that spit?
Yes. It was could have very easily been spit,
I wish Phil could have heard that joke. I just made it up. I don't know.
Yeah. The only president that has to
spit shield
has to give a speech in front of a spit shield. Yeah, or what are those things they have at salad bars?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a newscast? The president's been hit with spit. It'd be like an assassination.
Yeah.
Don't get the gun. Just spit at him.
He's amazing. He's just amazing. But so we watch. You probably watch The West Wing and say the same thing. I can't imagine Trump having to deal with any of this shit. Yes, Jeffrey. Oh, turn on your microphone.
What? Did everybody hear that the guy from England said that Trump was pretty much an asshole, and
well, he's the
and now
ambassador.
we can't trust him. And,
he's the ambassador to the United States.
yeah.
He's not trustworthy. He's a fucking idiot. Yeah.
Imbecile.
I don't think he said imbecile, did he?
Yes, imbecile, because it kind of he said imbecile because I thought, did he say impeachment, imbecile? Yeah, I didn't know, but yeah, imbecile, I believe. What?
Anyway, it's very interesting.
Yeah, but as Trump said, he's well respected around the world.
Oh yeah.
Here, the British ambassador to the United States. British ambassador now targets Trump's ire as wired. Let's see here. I think he said, where is it? What did he say? I'm trying to look at what he said.
Just leave Phil off for now. Answer the question before Phil comes on.
Oh, Phil, it says missed call from Phil.
Oh.
Oh, there he is. Okay, here we go. There we go. There we go. Okay, he's back with us. There we go. Let me see here. I'm trying to find the quote, if there's a quote around here. They privately dissed Trump's team as dysfunctional and inept. And
inept.
Yeah.
Who says that?
The ambassador to the United States from England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
England, the ones that want to get out of Brexit and can't seem to find a way to do it. But
no, they made the same stupid mistake we made by electing Trump. Okay.
Well,
so just because they're just as stupid as we are. Oh, Boris Johnson.
Boris is coming.
Oh, there's an idiot. There's a fucking moron. If there ever was one.
Boris?
Boris, absolutely.
least he sounds Russian.
Yeah.
Natasha, his wife.
Natasha, his wife, yeah.
And Moose.
Moose is cool.
Boris,
the squirrel, right.
Boris is Johnson. Anyway, yeah, you're much smoother now, Phil.
Oh, good.
No, it's not good, actually. So, my voice doesn't sound that hoarse, though, does it?
No, you sound fine.
Oh, okay. No, I just I think it's got to be pollen. There's something. I think either that or there's something in this apartment that's causing it.
It's the lead.
It could be.
100. What's your apartment? 104 years, 110 years old.
What do you mean? 119 years old.
Okay, so when they painted 119 years ago, they used lead. And, I don't think that's the kind of building that you had a bunch of kids eating the lead off the windowsills and stuff, so it's still there. Yeah. And, what lead does is it affects your brain and your cognitive ability.
I took that pill the other day for about 5 days, and I felt terrific. I really felt great. And then I stopped taking them because it was time to stop taking them. And all of a sudden, my symptoms came back. Not as badly, not in the same way, but I'm tired. And I don't know. And I went and worked out today. I didn't run out of breath or anything like that.
Yeah.
25 minutes on.
So you were in remission for 25 minutes while you worked out?
No, when I work out, I don't have any. I don't get short of breath. I don't get dizzy or anything like that. So I just don't understand what it is that is wrong with me. It could be abject depression is what it could be.
Well, I think that there are rotting bodies in the walls of your apartment. Over the years, there was a couple of serial murderers, and they stuffed them in the walls.
I'm sure, it's always a possibility.
And now you're being affected by it.
Yeah.
That and the lead.
Well, I'll tell you what's happening. What do you call it? Damien, next week, next week, is taking 3 weeks off to go on vacation.
I thought his life was a vacation.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same. I'm going to do the same thing this year sometime.
Yeah,
take
do it.
You should.
3 weeks off. You'll all be here when I come back, so
hopefully.
Yeah.
As long as we're still alive.
Yeah.
I think you should. You're not getting younger, and you should enjoy life.
Gee, I am getting younger, Phil. I don't know why it's happening, but I'm a regular Benjamin Button.
You got the Midas touch in reverse.
Yeah.
Can you move Jack's show up to Damien's spot? Because it's hard to stay up that late around here. Yeah.
Damien has to be off at a certain hour, otherwise his girlfriend will deal with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He I think what is it? It's like 6:30 in the evening here when he's on, and that's the perfect time for him to continue with his life. And,
I would like to listen to Jack more often.
Well, if I go away for a couple of weeks, Jack can do this.
Yeah.
And there's nothing going on after, so he can do that and doesn't have to worry about doing his.
Yeah.
Right. So,
Jack's a pro.
Yeah. So, anyway, see?
Just your choke.
Anyway.
Said adjust your choke.
Yeah. This Jeffrey Epstein thing has really been. Oh, you know what we've got is we've got another Democrat in the race now. This guy Stiers from California.
Yeah.
From California, you know about this guy? Yeah.
But what's his name? Swalwell is out.
He's out. He's
too young.
Well, you know what it is? I honestly believe that every time somebody gains weight on this planet, somebody loses weight. It's all because we have to balance things out. And the same thing is true of the Democratic Party. When some guy leaves, guy has to join. But Stiers has
he's got money.
He's got a lot of money. He's already pledged $100 million to his campaign.
Whoa.
But his only deal is impeach Trump. That's his platform.
Well, no, that's one of his
For
parts
me,
of his.
works for me.
It works for
yeah,
me.
he's saying, oh, I don't like big business. Well, how do you make his money?
Well, you know something? He can make. As a matter of fact,
I don't think so.
he made his money very ethically, and has taken most of his money and put it into good works.
What was it? A hedge fund or?
I don't know what he did, but he absolutely.
Yeah, I'm the look.
No, he absolutely
How did Tom
puts
Steyer make his
puts
fortune?
hundreds of millions of dollars every year into good works. I think he's put almost $1 billion in to good works. I mean,
So did Jeffrey Epstein.
He's a guy who, even though Jeffrey Epstein,
he's a philanthropist.
they say, but they can't name anything he's been philanthropical about.
Young women's Christian.
See, there you
Association.
go, Phil. There you go. Automatically guilty. Make the little
IWCA.
girl jokes. You know.
Well,
You know.
What are you telling me? It's too soon?
It way too soon. The guy was just indicted yesterday.
He's sitting in the court.
All right. So it looks like
Friday punching plates.
Huh?
looks like
Friday
Scott may
punch-
have. Scott, did you get a?
Tom
answer?
Steyer?
Yeah.
Steyer was a hedge fund guy. He's 62, and he's not that rich. He's only got 1.6 billion.
Really? But he's
Not a bummer.
Rich as Trump, obviously.
but he's
That's half a Trump.
He says. So he says.
No, that's more than half a Trump. That's like 2 times Trump. Trump.
You know, the Forbes magazine is saying that Jeffrey Epstein may not be a billionaire.
What?
Yeah, that he may be lying.
Well,
he
how
had-
about Trump? He may be lying too, according to
No,
Forbes.
no.
Company.
Two poor guys. Two
When
poor
I
guys.
think about Trump, I
How
think
can you
about
lose
his
as much money as Trump lost, and still be a billionaire?
You get the discount in volume.
No, what he did is there's a he doesn't. Why doesn't he want us to see his tax return?
No.
Why, Phil?
Because he has something to hide.
If you didn't, if you were proud and you were saying I'm a billionaire, wouldn't you be willing to prove it?
His tax return isn't going to tell you whether he's a billionaire or not. It's going to tell you what he made for that tax
Or
year.
how much he lost, or
Well, maybe he
whether,
lost,
or people could
you
sit
know.
around and suddenly realize that he's lying on his tax return.
Well, you know, I saw a thing that said what his properties were worth and how much they were encumbered by mortgages, and he's sitting pretty good. I don't think we're going to have to throw any dinners for him to, raise money so that he can get his next meal.
You know
Hey,
he's
Phil,
eating at
did
the
it
falls.
include what he owes to the Russians?
Well, the Russians just buy his property.
Why, if he had so much money, was he out trying to get money from people?
What money was he trying to get from people?
Well,
you mean
making deals
the
with
Deutsche Bank thing?
The Russians and banks in America wouldn't lend him money any longer.
I
I mean, if the
thought-
guy is a multi-billionaire, wouldn't they be happy to loan him money?
I thought the idea behind business was to get money from other people for the stuff that
But
you
if they
do.
won't give it to you, there's a reason.
Well, Deutsche Bank gave it to him,
And Deutsche Bank never saw it back.
Well, they're philanthropists.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is, Phil, your boy ain't anywhere close to a
He's a
billionaire. In
billionaire.
fact, he may be he's in the best position he's ever been in right now, being president, because he's literally.
Bulletproof.
Well,
Yeah.
what is he getting 3 hots in a cot? And
Yeah.
Yeah,
May have to
basically.
after he gets out.
Yeah.
I think he'll be reelected another couple of times.
Another
he will
couple
too.
of times.
Right. Once.
Can you imagine if he wins again? They'll go crazy out there in the streets. If he wins again, they'll go nuts.
He will win again. If you keep putting up these left-wing socialists like Bernie Sanders and the whole party is moving left. You
Joe
keep putting
Biden.
those guys up, it's going to be another debacle like you saw in '72, I think, with McGovern.
By the way, I've just noticed Bree has been frozen for a long time. He hasn't been online for a while, has
It's
he?
150 degrees where he's from. How can he be frozen?
Where is he, Bree? What happened to you?
He's not on Skype.
He's not on Skype. I just noticed because see, I can't tell here because I basically look at my screen for the show, and he's still there because he's frozen. You know, I could.
Did he move yet?
What?
Bree?
Did he move yet?
Any day, I think.
Yeah.
Malaysia.
Yeah. I would think that if he was in the midst of moving, that when he does move, that he's not going to call in.
Yeah.
Although I did call in on a flight. I don't remember where I was coming from, but I had, at least I talked to Alex for a few minutes, and then I couldn't get back on the internet that was on the plane.
Let me see here. Scott, let me move Scott into that spot. I'm just.
Oh no, you're not moving Scott.
No, it's not. I'm just moving him to a better place. That's all. There we go. Okay.
Scott's going to a better place.
There we go. We just moved him up there. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Am I ahead of Phil? That's all I want to know.
You're actually you're in the second slot. Phil's in the fourth. So.
Yeah. I'm like Charles Atlas. I'm holding up the world.
I don't touch.
But anyway, I go for my. I go to talk to my doctor tomorrow. I go to talk to my doctor tomorrow.
Good idea.
I go to.
How do I share my screen?
Yeah. Why don't we all share our screens?
So I'm going to go see my doctor tomorrow, and he's going to tell me my latest PSA test. And it's like I'm back in school again, going for my grades.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But. Chances are he'll just tell me, it's either gone up or it's gone down or it's done this or it's done that. Come back and see me in 6 months. Take another blood test in 6 months.
That's a good
jack
job.
off before your test? Did you jack off before your test?
No. 3 days beforehand, I don't touch my pee-pee at all. I just cut my balls when I pee. I mean, I'm very careful.
What about riding on the bike, the stationary
I
bike?
didn't do that. Didn't do that for about 4 days beforehand.
Having sex before your PSA test.
You know, and it'll probably still go up. You know, but
I got to get mine taken. I hope it's still 0.
Well, it's got to be. You don't have a prostate.
Yeah, but if I have cancer again, it won't be 0.
That should be
No, but you're not. You can't. Obviously, if they took it out and they haven't been able to find cancer, then you're free. You're home free.
And why do they keep telling me to come in and get the test?
I don't know, because
I get a 0 and the guy says that's great.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about this. Everything I've read online says if you're over 75, you should not be given a PSA test. Okay?
Yeah. Just giving it for charity?
No, you should not be given a PSA test. My doctor's having me do a PSA test every 6 months. You know why? So I'll come back to him. He'll stick his finger up my ass. He'll scope me with the probe. He'll charge like $500 for it, and come back and see me in 6 months.
Did Vernon? Did you have prostate cancer?
Yes.
And do you still go for a PSA test? They didn't take your prostate out. They just shot you up with chemo or something?
Once a year when I get my physical done, they run the PSA, and it's still it's like 0.5.
Wow.
What did they do to you? Give you the hormones or the?
No, I did radiation treatments for 9 weeks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You know, there are all kinds of ways of handling it. You know. They say, in fact, at my age, I shouldn't even get they shouldn't even give me a biopsy, because it's more. The biopsy is more dangerous than the effect it will have in solving any problems.
And at your age, they won't even give you an autopsy.
Yeah, right. But no, they say that that at my that over 75, the benefits of a PSA test are almost negligible. You know, because it'd be 15 years before you would get prostate cancer, or it would be dangerous enough, and by then you'll probably be dead from something else anyway. That's the philosophy on it. Yes, Jeffrey.
How about if I'm 74 and a half?
Well,
It's like little kids. I'm 3 3/4.
no, they say that after, especially after 80, no biopsies. They're more dangerous than they are, because something like 5% of the time biopsies become infected.
Yeah. I had 2 biopsies before they ripped it out.
Yeah.
And they're no fun.
My doctor told me he puts his people out. He puts you out for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine just put me down. He just said, "You suck."
That would-
So it was
when my biopsies were done, they just used local anesthesia.
Yeah, and it was okay.
That's what they did with me.
Did it bother you at all, Vernon?
They snip it, and it's awful.
Wait a minute. But Vernon says it wasn't awful.
Well, he didn't have Kaiser. When they do it at Kaiser, they only give you half a dose of the lidocaine.
But you didn't feel anything, right?
Oh, there was a little bit of discomfort, but it wasn't painful.
Yeah.
That's
because they stick a probe about that long up your ass.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And into your prostate.
Well, he's already done that with me. He's already done a sonogram by shoving the probe up my ass and looking around. He hasn't found anything.
Yeah, but that probe doesn't take a piece of your prostate and so they can
that's
analyze. They took 14 pieces each time they did it to me.
14?
Yeah. 14.
Well, that's Kaiser. They wanted to get 2 extras, Phil. I only had 12 apiece.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I got the gold plan.
Well,
there you go.
In any event, how high was your PSA though before you had the radiation? Huh?
It got to 9.2.
9.2. Okay. Yeah. And that's not.
Yeah, that's about where mine was, but then it went up to 17. But I actually had a prostate infection, and my nutritionist noticed it and said to have me get Cipro. I got Cipro. I was on it for a month, and it went back down to 9.
Yeah, supposedly at my age, I can have 6.5 before they start worrying. So.
I have a friend that was at 5, and he's 62, so he was really concerned about that. So I don't know what. I haven't gotten back with him.
How old is he?
He's 62.
And he had what? 5?
5.
Yeah, that they start worrying about it, especially at 62. At my age, you see, what happens is I'm 79. At 79, 80. The chances that you've got prostate cancer is about 70%.
Mm-hmm.
My internist said to me that it may even be higher than that. He said, but when you get to be 90, it's 100%.
Oh.
I mean, it's just the prostate, but it's not an invasive or catastrophic cancer. It's just, your prostate has some cancer in it.
Hey, Tony, you see what you got to look forward to?
I know. I'm getting worried.
You just have a touch of the cancer.
Well, at 62, you don't want to have a high PSA at 62. My PSA didn't start going up till about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, but it isn't much. You were like, what, 1 or 1.5, and now it's 2?
No, it's 4.3.
Oh, okay, so it's going up.
Yeah, it's going up. But, it may be that I do have a little bit of the touch of the cancer. But,
Hey, it was nice knowing you, Alex.
They have this thing called watchful waiting, and that's what he's doing. Every 6 months, I get the blood test. Every 6 months, he looks at me and says, no, I don't see anything yet. Come back, and we'll just, I guess, keep doing this for the rest of my life every 6 months.
It's a good point.
Is that what I have to look forward to at this age, Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
It beats bypass surgery, right, Jeff?
Well, bypass. Sometimes bypass is a no-brainer.
Hey, the angioplasties were no-brainers. I mean, I was awake for them.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
The last time I had surgery, it was the simplest, no-brainer surgery, and yet it's affected my, I'll say my brain.
Really?
Did they open your chest for these surgeries? No. How do they get in there?
Well, not for 30 years.
Oh.
You know, originally 30 years ago, I had a open heart surgery.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Now everything is catheterization.
Yeah, they went into my wrist on the first one, and it was like nothing. The second time they did it, it was through the groin. That was a little different, you know. But it wasn't that. Yeah, but it wasn't that hard. They didn't put me out. I was in La La
less
Land.
invasive procedure.
Yeah.
Why don't they put you out? What would hurt them to put you out?
Imagine if they just knock.
I think there's more risk to going under anesthesia than there is to just put you in La La Land.
These drugs affect the brain.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, for instance, when I had my colonoscopy, they give me the Michael Jackson drug.
Propofol.
Propofol. And that's wonderful. I love that. You know, because it's like they're editing out a part of your life.
I like that.
Right? You know, it's like...
Bad part.
Okay.
Jeff, you don't think that what you're experiencing might be related to that earlier stroke you had when you were younger?
Oh, it could be. But I don't think so, because I had...
this is what old people talk about.
Yeah. I don't think so.
Hey, my prostate, the PSA is up. You know, it went to a 2.9, then it went down to a 2.5, then it went up to a 3.4, and then it went up to a 4.3. So it's going back and forth, you know.
Yeah.
Wobbling around. So we'll see what happens tomorrow.
For your age, that's still low.
Oh, they say that it should be up to 6.5 is the cutoff point at my age. So we'll see what it is. He'll probably tell me tomorrow it's 6.5. No, whatever. I asked him. I said, at this rate, will
do it again?
I said, will my prostate ever have to go? And he said, no way. He said, the worst that'll happen is we'll give you the hormones, and the hormones will bring your PSA right down. He said, because what the hormones do is it deprives you of your testosterone, and don't start talking like this, and
can we see your tits?
And what allows the cancer to thrive is your testosterone. So they inhibit, to a certain extent, the testosterone. And he said, I've given, the first time I give them a shot, they come back about 6 months later and take a test, a blood test, and they're down to like a 0.5. I mean, he says that you just see it drop precipitously, so he said that's what we'll probably do with you if we need to do anything.
Get a shot.
What the hell? Yeah, sure. I want. Well, it's a form of castration. In fact, that was one of the things I saw online on how they can solve prostate cancer is by removing your testicles.
Oh. So you want to have kids? Is that what you're saying, Alex?
And my answer to them is, if you do that, please kill me. Okay.
I had a guy that was working for me. He was in his 60s. He had a heart attack and died, but he had prostate cancer, and that's what they did is they I guess they castrate him or in one way or another to try to slow down the cancer.
Yeah. So anyway, but what the hell? So tomorrow night I'll either be telling you that I have to. Well, I just don't want a what do you call it? A biopsy. That's all. I don't want to go through that.
Yeah. Well, now the good ones, the way they do the biopsies, they do the sonogram, and then they do an MRI. They do the MRI, and then with the sonogram, they can see exactly where they're going in three-dimensionally, and they can go in and they can get the sample, and they're not routing around hoping that they find it like they do at Kaiser.
No MRI for me.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah. But no. Whoops. It's very loud. No, what they do, Phil, is they use the sonogram probe, and the sonogram probe can see what's there, and then they do the biopsy with that. That's what they do. Okay. But he's already looked at me that way, and he's also done the finger thing and everything. He can't find anything. But
did he kiss you?
Yeah, gave me flowers. Anyway, that's it. We got to go. Everybody, thank you so very much. Thanks to Bree for having been here earlier. Vernon, good to see you again tonight.
Yeah.
Always fine to see you. Phil, nice seeing you. And Scott and your brother-in-law.
Mike.
With a much nicer beard than you have.
And watch it. He makes knives. He'll cut you.
Right. And Tony, thank you. And of course, the greatest beard we have. I mean that it's not like I'm not
Hang
gay.
around with gay
Okay,
women.
yeah, right. Anyway, it's Jeff. Thanks everybody. Hey, why don't you give a big wave goodbye, and I will give a big wave goodbye back at you. Okay? There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our citizen panel for tonight. Let me just hang up on them and get rid of my Skype, so the next program, which is Jack Bishop and the intersection, can use it. That'll be next, okay? Meanwhile, it's time for me to get out of here. I'll see you again tomorrow night. We have the sports show on at 8:30 Eastern Daylight Time. At 9:30 Eastern Daylight Time, we've got Damian Chaplin and The Exchange. And then at 10 o'clock tomorrow night, I'll be back, hopefully not with cancer. And we'll be back tomorrow night. Same time, same station in life. In the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye.